Hello. I think this is right. Oh, I haven't spoken today. That's not true. I was yelling at the dogs. Anyway, good morning. It's day probably 19, I think. I don't know. Gosh, I need to get like a calendar or like a rip-off thing, like a so that I can remember because it's a little embarrassing. I'm on here. It's day, I don't know what it is. It's many day, not enough of many. Anyway, good morning. It's 9:17 a.m. and I'm in a pretty good mood today. Uh, Not really sure why. Maybe because it's early, right? Um, you can see I got a pile of paperwork I'm going through slowly and just making my way through stuff. It's kind of funny. This bedroom is a metaphor for this like office area is a metaphor for my mind. It's like first everything was everywhere and now it's all in piles. And now I'm kind of going through it all a little bit at a time. Um, and I'm sort of doing the same thing mentally. So I'm logging on here because, well, first of all, let me just update you. It's day, let's see, what is it, 5 of the 30-day no alcohol challenge, and it's going fine. I will say that I do like miss the whole like stress management aspect of happy hour. So for example, yesterday was just a ridiculously stressful day. I had the dogs barking and everything, and if you watch yesterday's video, you can see it all over my face. So as the day sort of went on and the stress level started to escalate, I found myself thinking I want nothing more than to go and sit with someone and have a glass of wine and just relax. So that's kind of good information for me that if, I want to minimize alcohol consumption or just really any sort of anything, that what I need to do is find a better way to manage my stress so that I'm not turning to something else to, do that for me. Whether it's anything, food, alcohol, funny movies, YouTube cat videos, whatever it is. So anyway, so there's that. But interestingly enough, I'm logging on here today because I did my hour meditation. It was amazing. The whole household was silent, which is I was literally for a moment wondered if like one of the dogs had been killed because it was so quiet. I was like, where's the puppy? Anyway, no one's dead. So I didn't have any massive insights during the meditation. I thought about, some stuff that I'm thinking about creating and, stuff like that. But oddly enough, like 2 hours later, I was doing something and then I had a flash of insight. So what's going on is I'm going to try to say this in a way that's generic enough that I'm not outing anybody in this situation, but I'm having a conflict. I don't even know if that's the right word, but whatever, that's the word that I'm going to choose. I'm having an issue, with a female friend of mine, and we're at opposite sides of an issue, and it's a very emotionally charged issue for her, and so I was raised in a family where we didn't really handle conflict very well. So I'm not exactly a master at conflict resolution. Um, so anyway, the thing is like, I'm tripping over my words. Yesterday I was talking to Larry about the situation and I was expressing, hurt and anger and all these other emotions, and he made the comment innocently, not in an obnoxious way, that it seemed like I was holding on to a grudge. And I had a very strong, negative, scary looking reaction to that. The poor guy. Like I said, he said it, and then I had this like furious look on my face, right? And my kids, if you're watching, you know the look, right? The one that you go, oh shit, she's mad. Anyway, so I didn't react. I like just sat with the mad feelings. So then this morning after the meditation, and then I'm just walking around doing some stuff, I realized that what's going on is that my ego, that lovely little ego part of me that loves to create drama for me to get distracted by is doing it. That's what it's doing. It's creating these feelings of like, well, she shouldn't have said that, and I can't believe this happened, da 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 da. When in reality, that has nothing to do with anything. It has nothing to do with anything. It is a distraction. I quit, drinking alcohol, and I quit doing these other things, and I quit my patterns. And so my ego's like, oh, well, this isn't good for us. So we're just going to throw in the big fireworks show. And we're going to get you all upset and all you up in a wad about this thing. When in reality, none of it has anything to do with me. And I mean, I knew this like a week ago when the issue came up. I knew it. I was in a totally zen place. And I'm like, look, people come to situations with their own frame. This person and I just have different frames about it. And, it's okay that she has her perspective. I don't need to get emotionally engaged in that. And then I did. I found that over time, like, it kind of crept up. And then when Larry said that thing about holding a grudge, which I still don't know why I got so mad about that. But, like, I guess because it was true, and my ego didn't like hearing it. That's probably what it was. So I need to remember, and you guys can help me, that if I really get pissed off about something, that's probably ego. So I had been making some decisions about whether, how I was going to engage with this person in the future, and I'm just not ready to let it go, and And then in like 1 second, the minute that I realized that it was ego running the show and not actually the higher self Traci or Morgan Freeman, but just like ego, then it just went away. It just like literally let go. It's like, no, I have an opportunity to engage in life in a loving way, to come at a situation with love instead of continuing to escalate a conflict or create more conflict or add in some new dimension of conflict. But instead to just be like, hey, I don't have to engage in this. She doesn't have to like my opinion. I don't have to care. I don't have to like hers. We can have a different opinion. And it's okay for her to be mad at me. It's okay if she's not there, if she's legitimately pissed off. It's okay. I always tell my kids this. Like, I was telling my kids the story yesterday. And they're like, well, you always told us I can handle your anger. It's okay for you to get mad at me. It's okay. I'm strong enough to handle your anger. So if I'm not strong enough to handle, I think the key is being strong enough to handle my own anger, right? So when I get pissed off, to not be like, oh my God, I'm so angry and I just need to bleh, and like vent it and yell and make a drama scene. And if I get pissed off, just sit there and be pissed off for a second and be like, oh, look at me. Because that's what happened. Like, he said this thing, he's like, and I felt it like right here. I was like, oh, right? And I was like, and he went, oh crap, right? So I'm like strong enough to handle my own anger, and I'm strong enough to handle other people's anger, and I don't have to react. I can come at even angry situations from a place of love. Now, I'm saying this at 9:25 in the morning. It's possible that at 1 o'clock in the afternoon today, I could totally be in a different place. But if I can find this place once in a while, right? If I can step into this tiny little space where there's a difference between the ego Traci and child Traci and like the sort of the negative person inside that goes, I named them Abbott. So somewhere between Abbott and child Traci and ego, somewhere in the space when those people step aside is the actual me that's connected to a higher source. That's the, if I'm talking about it in a religious sense, the person that was made in the likeness of God. Okay. That person who is similar to Jesus, to God, to Gandhi, to Buddha, that's in there. She's in there. All right. But she's not going, well, you know what she said, and then she said this. And so I'm not going to talk to her. That's it. Until she apologizes to me. Right? You don't see Mother Teresa going, well, I'm sorry. She needs to apologize to me. So I'm trying to learn how to come from a higher place, and getting all sucked up into dramas, which I realized I was doing, it seemed so real, right? It just seemed all so important and real. It did. That ego is a tricky, tricky little person. So anyway, all right, I'm done for today. I think it's 19. Because tomorrow's Friday, which would make Saturday 21. So I'm pretty sure it's day 19. But I don't know. So whatever it says on the YouTube video, that's the actual day that it is. So, all right. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Yes, I will. Bye.